We're on episode 2 of our series of property and wine, and today I've got an estate agent with me and a very good friend of mine. I've got Lee O'Brien that's come to see us. So we're going to be talking about property and wine.
Property was where I had started as I was leaving school. So I was a part-time estate agent whilst finishing at sixth form, and I just went straight into it from there.
So what do you do in the industry? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've started in the industry when I was 18, straight out of school.
Last year?
Yeah, uphill paper round. So I started when I was 18, straight out of school, and went into William H. Brown, corporate estate agency. Great training, really good grounding. It's where I met my business partner, and we worked there I worked there for 2 years before we decided to take the plunge and go out on our own. The manager there had been there about 25 years and had sold every house in the area twice and wasn't really going anywhere. His number 2 had been there about 15 years and similarly he wasn't going anywhere. So the progression for both myself and David was a little bit limited in that office. So we took the decision, prompted by the secretary of the office, to go and start on our own, which we did. We opened our business in 2004. I was 20 at the time, and we picked the village of Stansted Mount Fitchett, just outside of Bishop Stortford, to open our first premises. We felt the agency market in there at that time was a bit sleepy, and it gave us an opportunity to go in and do things a little differently. We were from a very competitive town, which was full of sort of quite typically aggressive agents that were very proactive, and I think we brought that to the sleepy village, and we were really sort of go-getting. We were bright colours, we were a little bit different, and we went after it.
Your colours are what?
So we're nearly on brand. We are pink and black is our colours, but in 04 it was the green agent, the red agent, the blue agent. So it was from the off we were trying to be a bit different.
Would you advise any youngsters today to look at going into the property industry? Has it become easier to get into the property industry? Harder? What do you think?
I actually think it's always been relatively easy to get into. However, it's hard to succeed. So yes, it's got a relatively low barrier to entry. You don't need any particular qualifications. You need to be quite confident on the phone. You do need to be quite organised because there tends to be a lot in a busy office environment. However, you don't need a university degree to start on a Saturday as a viewings clerk, helping out in an office to start building your career. However, it's given both myself and my partner a wonderful career. We've lived quite an entrepreneurial journey of growing our business and going through different periods of time and up times, down times. But I think property has been the catalyst tool that's allowed us to live the life that we currently live. So I think it's a great industry to be part of.
If you had your time again, especially your younger years, do you think you would have chosen property again?
Yeah, I think I would. I think the whole prospect of agency, being an agent, dealing with large assets for people at a very important time in their life, I think still excites me to this very day. I think I would have still chosen property given my time again.
And another question for you, do you like wine?
I do. Yes. Wine of all sorts, all colours, absolutely.
There's no barriers.
I'm accepting of all,
So, we've got a selection of wines to taste. What I've done is we had a really good tasting the other day of rosé, so I've picked out 3 of the nice champagnes that we'll taste.
Brilliant.
I've also put aside the world's finest sparkling wine as chosen by our judges in 2019, I believe.
Amazing.
And that is from an Italian winery, so we'll also taste that. But let's start off with a glass of rosé so we can carry on chatting with a glass in our hand.
Great.
I'm going to go for Albert Berrin and their rosé. This is a small family producer. So generally these kind of wines you don't find, say, in the everyday supermarket. These are more going to be at your local wine merchant, or you may have to find them online.
Right, great.
There we go. Here's a glass of rosé. So these are smaller producers of champagne, generally known in the trade as grower. And the Champagne region is made up of many different labels, of which many you'll recognise: Taittinger, Veuve Clicquot, Dom Perignon. But there are many thousands of people that own vineyards, and there are many hundreds, a few thousand of smaller producers, smaller name, that make their own champagne.
Still in that same region?
Yeah, all in the same region. So it's split into two regions, Champagne. You've got a northern area, and then you've got a small southern area of Champagne. But you can only grow Champagne in designated areas. Otherwise, it's not Champagne, quite literally. So this is the first of the wines today. So give it a go. There we go. Touch of a connoisseur there, you're on the nose. Very good red fruit flavours, I think.
Yeah, it's nice.
Quite good acidity.
It's not. Yeah.
So, what about technology in the property industry? I hear a lot about Proptech. I was involved in Proptech a few years back. Is that still very apparent today? Do you embrace technology?
Yeah, we've always taken an approach to embrace and adopt things early in the process, and try to find ways in which they can benefit our business and help us move our business forward. And currently we have quite a range of tech that we use within the agency business, on top of the traditional things like the CRM, so the general database. So we use some fantastic marketing tools from businesses like Iceberg Digital. We use the Lifecycle system. We also use Brief Your Market, and have a range of other platforms that we go to help us deliver our service and deliver our messages.
Do you think that these are unnecessary costs or mounting costs per month, or would you say to anybody starting off in a estate agency that no, these are good, these will actually help your business and are very well worth the money?
I think they are an expense, and they are a growing area of expense for our business and probably many others that choose to adopt. However, I think the importance really needs to be lent on why you're making those investments into this technology, and to build a data-driven business as we go into the future over the next 5 years, I think will become super important, and there will be almost two races between the companies that do build a data-driven business and have got their data in order and are able to utilise it properly, and the companies that have simply ploughed on without a real plan around how they're going to use that, and we have to use technology in order to do that properly.
It's a good thing. Nonetheless, we're going to do another rosé quickly whilst we're doing these questions. This is from, again, a smaller producer, Champagne Moutardier. In fact, me, Oliver, who's doing the filming today, we was there a few weeks back, weren't we? We had a lovely tasting out in their vineyards.
Amazing.
This is their rosé. Lovely sound.
Great fizz. Thanks.
Lovely colour. It's not a light pink. It's a dark pink. We use it in the champagne industry. If it's quite dark and it's done in a certain way, it's usually called Sangnier, which is blood. So blood rosé.
Okay.
It's a very dark rosé. So here's the second one. Yeasty kind of brioche cake on the nose. Much stronger in flavours. Red berry fruits flavours on that.
I think I prefer that, actually.
Yeah, I think it's although the Babin are very, very good, I think this one is quite good.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Probably a touch better level. Well, it's preferences. The good thing about wines is there is actually no right or wrong, you know.
Right.
And I always say this, the story is when I was with Os Clark, which is the best wine, he said sometimes it's just the wine that you've got in your hand. That is the beauty of wine.
Yeah.
Very good from Champagne Moutardier. So really good Rosa. I really enjoyed that.
I like that. Very
The
nice.
question I was going to ask you is, it's very important to understand your target community, your local community, especially as an estate agency. What do you do with regards to building a relationship with your community? Is it still very much an advert in the local newspaper and maybe Rightmove, Zoopla on the market, or is there a little bit more that you can do?
Yeah, I think there is more that you can do in this space. We went on a bit of a journey a couple of years ago about identifying our customer persona and the ideal customers that we work with. And looking back over 50 to 100 transactions, it became very apparent that we sold a lot of a particular type of house. And when looking at the customers, they were a similar type of people. So actually, I think the agency itself attracted a certain customer persona, and actually us going through the process of identifying that was super helpful, because then all of a sudden our whole marketing effort and the needs of those customers, we can directly go to them. So in our messaging and our blog posts, in the videos that we do, are answering the questions that come up time and time again from this regular customer base that we work with. And then we do that and we distribute that through predominantly social advertising and social media, because the targeting and the ability to target the right consumer is so powerful.
But
and so much easier.
you said you was around 15 years ago in the estate agency.
Well,
that obviously has wildly changed.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a whole generation to a degree. But you're speaking to people maybe back in 2005 were a youngster on social media. 15 years later, they're business people. They're buying and selling houses. So it is, I suppose, important that you direct a lot of your questions via social media. A lot of your offering, should I say, and via social media.
We pose questions and we prompt answers, and the answers help define our next decisions around what we're going to do next. And by having the central marketing database that we've got within the lifecycle system, the audiences are already collated for us. So the regular audience that we work with are already collated, and their needs and their preferences we can appeal to on an individual basis. So the ability to provide more bespoke advertising is so powerful, and the way in which you can do that for the cost is unheard of at the moment.
It is true, isn't it? And I suppose one other thing, it's been very positive, the Property Institute, to a degree in the last few years. Even now, it is still very positive, but how's COVID-19 affected your business? Has it hindered things? Maybe it's changed the way you do business. But I don't think it's stopped the market. The figures online seem very positive for house prices, especially.
So in short, it did stop the market. In short, there was a grinding firm halt to the market. We still had our active pipeline of people wanting to go through the process. However, the solicitors had left their offices and weren't working particularly effectively from home. So it was a grinding halt, and for 2 months we didn't sell a property, and that was frightening, because we hadn't done that since the sort of first 2 months of opening the business. So for 15 years we'd never been in that position. However, just by the conversations that we were having over that lockdown period with the customers, we could tell that the need for the move was still there, and that simply somebody had just hit the pause button, and they hadn't
quite literally
decimated the market like previous problems had.
There was no panic on the streets. You don't think anybody think, wait, I'm not going to do anything, buy, sell or anything, because I fear the prices are going to go down? I think people were waiting. The problem is, I suppose, to a degree, over the last few years, there's been a lot of people sat on the fence, especially with Brexit looming. So whether or not people think it's right or wrong, it was still looming. So it could be, it could go upwards, or it could have been a drastic down. Who knows?
That has been in the air for 2 years or more.
For a long time.
So, but we felt we'd just sort of overcome that as we come into January, and it was really building momentum through January and February.
I suppose what the new government in Boris said, I'm going to action it. Forget about it, everybody.
It was the Boris pounds.
Yes, exactly.
And that was really apparent. There was a lot going on, and
but COVID kind of support the Brexit.
It paused it. It just paused it.
You'll find today. You think that you've overcome that. And you think the lessons have been learnt, that even if mini lockdowns or regional lockdowns occur, you're prepared to still service your clients.
Yeah, and we are in a great position to still be able to service the client. So on it was the day before we locked down, we actually closed the office. So we put the call in on the Monday, and I think they closed things down on the Tuesday. But we were able to simply pick up our phones, our computers, move our systems home, and the move was seamless. And it's because of a bit of investment from us in the technology that we utilise, being on we have cloud servers and we use cloud-based technology to be able to do that. But there wasn't a difference for the customer at that point. The only difference was that we weren't physically able to attend viewings and valuations, and that stops our business moving forward. But the other elements of the business were still very operational, even to this point now. Our property management staff that we have within the business, they haven't returned to the office. They don't need to. They are perfectly efficient to work from home. They enjoy working from home, and the systems allow it. So it's fast forwarded some of the changes that may well have been needed in our business anyway.
That's a nice way of putting it, Lee. Yeah, it has fast forwarded in some for positive reasons. Yeah, I agree.
And I think it gave everybody a chance to step back, look at it, maybe change a few things,
evaluate,
and go back at it again. Yeah. Which we would have never got that opportunity. You say you want to do it, you say you want to do it, but the reality is you find a reason not to, and exactly, so you don't do it. But it forced that opportunity on us, which I'm really grateful for. I think that's been a great opportunity for us.
Great. So Jean Plenaire Fils from Bubbly. So again, a smaller producer of champagne, and we've got another rosé, Grand Cru. So I don't know if it's Premier Cru, this one here.
What's the difference?
So the Grand Cru, so you have a standard champagne, and then you'll have Premier Cru, which is a little bit higher, so designated areas that produce, so they think, better grades. And then you've got the Grand Cru, which is very small selective parcels. That has the Grand Cru.
And that is the
best.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's tasting preference, but generally, if you've got that on the bottle, you are assuming. And it's the same for any of the wine regions. Generally, they'll have different classifications. Once you learn the classifications, generally at the supermarkets, almost the standard, you don't realise. But even if it's Rioja, Chianti, or Bordeaux, they'll all have their designated kind of classifications to look out for.
Oh, cool.
So here we go with the champagne Jean Plenaire et Fils. Touch more savoury on this. I've got a little bit of dry cured ham.
It's more of a champagne smell to it.
Dry, huh? Nice balance. They're all very nice. They're all very different. I think this one stood out for me, the Moutardier, the second one.
Yeah.
It's very vibrant with flavours.
It was more, fruity.
The other two are quite subtle, but still very, very elegant. We did a nice pairing with some wines, rosé wines, and Indian cuisine.
Oh yeah.
A couple of nights ago, we had a friend of mine that does from India. She does some really nice cooking, so we tasted some rosés with the Indian cuisine.
And it went
very well, yeah.
Really?
Very well, yeah. So our final rosé wine, and kind of a question of interest here for me is the future of estate agency. We've got names such as Purple Bricks. They've been around for a while. They've kind of disrupted the industry, given some people a kick up the bottom, should we say. They've caused a lot of upset, should we say. People are against them, but the future of estate agency, is it the kind of Purple Bricks concept, or is there something else for estate agency? Is there still a place for high street estate agents?
Yeah, I think that's the future of estate agency is exciting. There is no doubt about it that it's changing. It's changing quickly. The tools that we use are rapidly changing. The employment models are rapidly changing, and there's now new options for agents and ways, and different ways of working, with the ability now to work from home so seamlessly. That has been evidently displayed over the past 6 months now. I think the way in which we work is going to change. It'll probably be one of the starkest changes that people will see.
Working from home, has the managing of staff, the management, been affected, or do you feel that you can still oversee and obtain the best value from each of your employees? You know, grab their skills in the right way, or is it difficult to manage? It's not like a factory and people are doing something quite basic. I suppose it's a big team effort in a small office of 1 or 2, 3 people. Are you able still to work as an estate agency, even if you are all doing so remotely?
Yes, I think estate agency actually as a process is a simple process, and it can be relatively step by step. So I think once you've got good systems in place and everybody knows and works the systems well, it's about being consistent with that. And if you've got the right team that can behave independently and work through the process, then I think managing them remotely isn't an issue. I think there is a massive skills gap at the moment to manage teams remotely. I think because we're very, I think that's a new skill set that's being forced into the market, and I don't think lots of managers, senior managers, have got. I think that's
I understand what you're saying.
That's a whole new area of management training. I think that's going to come out, because managing people remotely is different, and actually I think it sits more with the managers than it does with the staff, for them feeling uncomfortable that you're not in earshot or arm shot to be able to see what somebody is doing, to know it's being done.
But do you still need to come together every so often, as such, if it's a weekly meeting? Are you still coming together? Maybe you, or do you think other estate agents are coming together every so often, or are you remaining remote?
I actually think there is a perfect balance of both to be had, to find that sort of remote working and flexible working, but combining that with a great office environment to be able to dip in and out of, and for the team to have the regularity of bringing everybody together, because there's just communication that goes on, sometimes even non-verbally, when a team is working together, and an understanding of what's going on.
I suppose it's getting the best from your staff, and also the staff getting what they require from their job, because it is job satisfaction. People do go to work, it's part of their life, so they can't feel alone in an office, at home, or not being part of the team. So I suppose it's a lot of responsibility. I suppose it's like a counselling kind of job as well.
Yeah, so there's very, very much a sort of a mentorship around finding out how they're managing it, and we've had staff that have turned around to us and said, "Are we ready to? Can we come back to work yet?" And actually, the home environment isn't ideal to work in, whether you just don't have enough space or there's a bit too much noise going on to allow you to concentrate, or it's just a lonely place to be. If you're tapping away and you're not making loads of phone calls all day because your job doesn't require it, then actually it can be a bit of a lonely place. So being in an office environment that's got a bit of that culture going on is needed for some staff. So I think for agencies to be able to provide a balance of both, whether that be on the high street or off the high street, I think is the future of how people come together.
From what you're explaining there, a lot of consumers would think an estate agency has an easy ride. You put the for sale sign up, it sells, you take your commission and job done. But by the sounds of what you're talking about here, estate agency is actually a complex business. There's a lot goes into being prepared and being in a position to sell someone's property or help a buyer find a property. Is that correct?
I mean, I've done lots of training over the years of being in the business, and we were tasked to sit down and literally write down everything you did throughout the process, from the minute the client makes the phone call to ask you to come do a valuation to the day it sells. And it's an A3 page full of words, because it's a long process of things that can happen and things that go on. So there are lots to it, but doing it well means that you need to be consistent in going through a diligent process, and handling it in such a way that you are a facilitator to help people's moves be fulfilled. And from the outside in, it can seem a simple job. From the inside out, I think people's whole idea of the process can change.
So, take 2 on this one, because I got the date wrong. So this here is Au Pair Serenissima from a winery called Villa Sandy. It's a traditional method sparkling wine from Italy, so it's made in the same way as champagne. And this wine here won the title of the world's finest sparkling wine in 2018. So 50 judges come from around the world, came to London, Marriott Hotel, we have our judging, and they decided this was the best expression of a sparkling wine. So me and you are going to taste it.
Top shelf.
Here we go. Top shelf. I like that, yeah. Usually more expensive on the top shelf. All reserved for the adults only.
There we go.
There you go. So I think one question I was going to ask you is, we spoke about the future estate agency. For David Lee, moving forwards, I hear that you're expanding, you're branching out. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the business has changed a lot. Obviously lockdown has fast forwarded some of that for some people, but actually even before lockdown we were well underway with launching an associate program for our business, and they gave us a way to expand our business through employing entrepreneurial self-employed estate agents to operate under a license as David Lee in their town, and with the support and the backup of our business
and all your years experience.
Yeah,
because I've known you for a while, and you've been in the estate agency for a long time, so the only way you can stay in estate agency is obviously you've got to be successful.
You do, and you have to be able to ride the ups and downs and change with the ever-changing landscape.
So you've got your central kind of place now, and you've actually got people that are coming on board with you in different parts of the country.
Yeah, we do. So our associate program launched sort of midway through the year, right in the middle of the COVID lockdown, and we onboarded our first associate, Katie, in Warsaw on the 1st of July. We then launched two more, Craig and Attle in Harlow and Colindale in August, and Anna started with us in Ely just this month, and we plan to have another two launch next month. So it's quite a rapid growth rate at the moment, and it's really exciting. Talking to some fantastic agents that really want to take the next step in their career and build something for themselves, but having the support of systems that we put in place.
Well, I suppose if they're coming on board with yourself and your partner, business partner, with 15, 16 years of estate agency experience, as you say, the ups, the downs, the knocks, the bruises, the mistakes, the success. So that's a tremendous opportunity for anybody looking to come into the property industry.
Yeah, so we really want to make sure there is a full support network around them. So a lot of the heavy lifting is done within the centralised head office. The sales progression, the property management, a lot of the marketing is handled centrally for them. And then the support and the coaching that we provide is second to none as far as I'm concerned. We've partnered with some great people. We've got Russell Jarvis on board, who's the ex-managing director of the Spice of Heart Group for the past 33 years, I think he was there. We've got a high-performance coach that isn't estate agency based, but he works with our associate agents and helps them through the ups and downs and coaches them into managing their own business, because it is their own business and it's quite a step going from employed to self-employed, and we're putting all of the tools around them for success. It doesn't work for us unless they're successful, so we are fully invested in ensuring they launch properly, they light up their area, and they go forward, and therefore they then become our best advocates for the program that we're delivering, because we're putting successful people into the market.
And talking about success, we've got a successful wine year 2018. So again, the nose is a bit citrusy and smoky. Do you get kind of smoky, kind of bonfire on the nose for me? I think it's very finely balanced. Yellow fruits, a bit of custardy creaminess to it.
Really nice, very nice. It's got a real difference to it.
Different to the rosé, because obviously any wine that is red wine is generally made from red grapes. But the juice within, and I said it to Andrew the other day, the juice within the wine is always clear.
Is it right?
And it's only the skin contact that will make the wine rosé.
Okay.
Or very red. So how long the skin stays in the mix, it would depend on how dark that wine will be. So if you've got a lighter rosé, some wineries prefer lighter. It's less skin contact. This would be a little bit longer.
A bit longer.
This obviously would be made from either it can be made from red grapes or white grapes, but there is no
skin
specific
at all.
content. So again, this is all the way from Italy.
That's lovely. It's really
So
nice.
what about youngsters coming in? I get a lot of messages because of the Facebook groups I've got of youngsters 15, 16, 17 coming in saying, I want to come in the industry, here's my CV, how do I come into the property industry? Could you take on board, say, a young student, or maybe even someone that's coming out of another industry altogether, maybe made redundant, looking for a new opportunity? Could you take on somebody with absolutely no education or skills in property in sales and property?
So, in our core business, David D, the centralised head office, yes. And we have a number of functions from property management to customer services, sales progression, and the centralised operations of the business, where we could take on apprentices, younger agents, people from outside of the industry. However, the associate program, we are looking for a particular skill set in order to be able to take somebody onto the program. So we are looking for a minimum of 3 years estate agency experience at a lister level, to be able to get them proactive quickly.
Could you want them to be successful as well? I understand.
We are completely focused on their success in getting them up and running quickly. Their plan with us is to move towards £100,000 in personal income as quickly as possible, and that's our complete goal and focus, and we set a plan around that when they join us. So we need people that are comfortable in listing, that have already got great local knowledge and a good network that we can tap into, and then we put everything else around them to light them up in that area and give them the support and function to do that.
That's interesting.
So yes and no.
So I suppose, unfortunately, in the property industry, there will be people, unfortunately, as I say, have lost their jobs in the property industry. So you are an opportunity for them. Should they contact you and discuss things?
Absolutely. I mean, we've.
Are you approachable?
Yes. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can give me a call. All of my details are on the site. There is a full page on the site explaining the program. There is a salary calculator on there to give you an indication of what you would need to do. And discretion as
well. If anybody's in the job, they want to move out and want to be all discretion.
Yeah, absolutely. Every conversation with me is private. But there is a great opportunity. I'm completely approachable and really comfortable to talk to anybody about the opportunity. We run discovery calls and discovery meetings with people that are interested, and we invite them to come down to the office. We run through a complete presentation explaining exactly what we provide for you and what's expected of you, so that people walk into this with their eyes open and know exactly how the process and the program will run.
So what I'll do is, underneath the video that I'll put out on social media, I'll probably put the links on there, your contact details.
Thank you.
So if they're really inspired by what you say and want to achieve the success that you've achieved, they can speak to you.
Yeah, I'd love them to. We're looking, we're on a huge growth path with that at the moment, so we're really keen to speak to people that are in the market.
Good. Well, I'm going to say cheers.
Thank you very much.
Success to you, and thanks for coming to see us. And next time we'll probably try some different wines. Hopefully you'll come and join us again for,
I'd love to. Thank you.
Another episode.
Cheers, Chris.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cheers.